also a semi-finalist in Doha as well, which is another tournament in the Middle East. So seems to like the thin air, playing in the desert. And we'll be hoping to get to another semi-final. To do that, we'll have to get past the 23-year-old. He's just wanting a couple of extra serves before they start. Looking to make the semi-final of the 500 series event for the first time. Veronika Kudermetova taking on a 15-time titleist on the WTA circuit, Elina Svitolina. It'll be the Russian to kick us off. Now South alongside myself, Peter, just to talk you through this one. Has reached 4 semi-finals on the WTA circuit before Kudermetova, but all of them what was previously known as international level tournaments, or 250s now. Yet to reach a WTA final. That's a nice start.
Looking very relaxed. It was interesting actually after the warm-up. She stayed at the back of the court. You often see players go and have a sit down, have a quick drink, but she was ready to go.
Well, I think, are we getting a glimpse tactically of what she's going to try and do today? Is it going to be all front foot tennis from the Russian?
Well, she's an aggressive game style player. She's very snappy. Everything is quite quick. You can see the racket head speed.
Correction was good. For serve.
So that's an interesting situation there, because had she missed the return, Svitolina would have probably lost the point because the call was late.
Yeah.
Looked like she's hit a winner there pretty much, but doesn't get the benefit that way. It has to be replayed.
Game, Kudermetova.
Blink and you miss it.
First game.
Kudermetova able to score the first game to love. And that will settle any nerves for her, because of course this is a big encounter for the world number 46. So it has been ranked as high as 38. We mentioned the fact that that marathon match happened emotionally, physically, the draw on Svitolina. She's one of the fittest players on tour, but could it still affect her today?
Well, it could do. It's a very quick turnaround. By the time you go and cool down, you have dinner, you might see the physio. She's going to have gone to bed very late, then to get up again, you're going to have a little bit of muscle soreness still, but she'll be as ready as best she can today, especially with that mental coach help that she's had now. She knows it's a process. There's nothing you can do about it. You've got to control the controllables.
At the start of the year, do you often have a few more aches and pains as well, particularly if you've had a long off-season, the sort of adrenaline for playing competitive tennis again?
You can have it both ways. You feel at your fittest, so you're good within the match, but you just have different muscle soreness. I used to get sore abs.
15 love.
Difference in just serving under tension when you have emotions running through your body, just the different effect that has. You still hit loads of serves. You played plenty of practice sets and matches. There's just a difference within real competitive edge.
As we say,
15.
the importance of having a mental coach. It's all connected. That tension does affect the body. There's Andrew Bettles, who of course has been working alongside Svitolina for a long time now. Started off as a hitter, but he's been the main coach now for 2 years.
Svitolina just pinning her opponent in the center of the court.
30-15.
She talked about the good tennis she played in the first set in particular against Alexandrova. Svitolina, I have to say she was playing some really good tennis as well in the previous rounds. I was very impressed with her performance against Zvonareva.
Game.
To get the balance between defense and attack just right, because
One game on.
that has been an issue, hasn't it, really, for Svitolina. Her game style, naturally, sometimes she can get a little defensive and take a step back, and you kind of almost feel she's battling with that all the time.
Well, when you win so many matches when you're younger, through your fitness levels, playing a lot of balls in the court, it's just easy to resort back to what you know, that she knows then to push on to try and then go ahead to win Grand Slam, win the big events, beat these aggressive players. She needs to hug that baseline a little bit more and take the initiative when it's the right moment. Smart volley played there, took all the pace out of it. Good move forward from the short ball.
Svitolina talked about previous match that these two had, saying that it wasn't the best match for her. She was happy that she was able to take her opponent to 3 sets, but also talked about Kudermetova and how flat she hits the ball. And of course, it's a similar story with Alexandrova yesterday. So at least she'll be used to that flat ball coming through on this surface. Short there from Svitolina, and it's pounced on by the Russian.
She was just trying to change the rhythm there, wasn't she? Which is a good tactic to play against someone who likes to hit hard and flat. But Kudermetova looks very relaxed at the start of this match. Plenty of acceleration up the back of the ball there.
Quality. Talk about trying to get tighter to the baseline. Right on top of that backhand.
A wonderful play as well to go hard through the middle of the court against a good mover and just pin them. Then have to use so much energy to try and get to a ball. That angle was just too good.
Let. First.
It's been a good start.
Game.
World number 46. Of course, has won their one
Kudermetova
previous meeting.
leads 2
You get
games
the
to
feeling
1.
she has plenty of belief on centre court here in Abu Dhabi. Leads 2-1. 1-2, first set. On serve so far.
Love.
Some of the other players, we would have been questioning maybe their fitness after such an epic encounter, or even their mentality. Just beauties of Svitolina, that you almost get the same thing again and again. Each and every match, so consistent. And it was funny, I mean, we talked about Sorribes Tormo in the previous match on this court, and how she had said after the win over Perez, and yeah, I just took it point by point. And you can almost say it's the same sort of attitude from Svitolina. She almost said the identical thing after defeating Alexandrova, just saying, I was just taking it point by point when I was 3-5 down in the deciding set.
30-15.
That's such an easy thing to say.
I was
but
just
not
about to say the
actually
same
easy
thing
to
as
do
you,
it.
yeah. But that's what I mean, that's why I reference it, because as much as they both have said it, those two players in particular, you get that they are able to do that. They are able to just stay in the present.
40-15.
Which is why Svitolina has won so many of those types of battles throughout her career, and therefore won so many titles.
She's just been so consistent in the top 10 since she broke in 2017, hasn't left.
Svitolina.
I mean, even last year,
2 against all.
we were watching her in one of the early rounds in Dubai, in her first round match, and she really struggled in that encounter. And I was just beginning to think, is this the year that she sort of falls away and has a poor year? Lost in the first round of Doha as well to Anisimova. She's blown away by Jennifer Brady in Dubai. But then she bounced back and won Monterrey and ended up also winning Strasbourg as well. And of course reached the quarterfinals of the French Open too. So we got to the end of the year and you were like, well, it's another pretty consistent year from the Ukrainian.
Love 50.
As mentioned before, I think the loss at Roland Garros would have stung. The tournament and the draw opening up a little. She became the favourite once we had reached the quarterfinals of that event. Just is swatted away by Kudermetova.
She's another player that makes tennis look so easy at times. Just a quick 1-2. This return came back very quick.
Doesn't look like a player who was overawed by such a big occasion. Taking everything in her stride right now, the Russian. There's another glorious winner.
40-15.
I just feel like this may be her year to really build and push through that career high ranking. 2019 she broke both the top 100 and top 50. Not many players do that really quickly within the same year. Last year didn't have too many results to start with. Made that semi-final in Hobart and plenty of early round exits until later on at Ostrava, where she qualified, like you mentioned earlier, and made the quarterfinal, back up again with a quarterfinal.
Not up, so doesn't need to hit another ball, Kudermetova, but it's another really confident service hold from the 23-year-old. We have a high-quality match on our hands right now. It is Kudermetova who leads by 3-2 first set. So on serve so far. Yet to see a break point. Both players playing some really good tennis here. Enjoyable final quarter-final.
Right for serve.
Talked about Svitolina having success in the desert. Kudermetova played some good tennis qualifying and then defeating Yastremska, pushing Muguruza hard at Dubai last year. She clearly likes these conditions as well. Nearly had a good win over Linda Bencic as well in Doha in the second round there. Lost 7-6 in the third. Brilliant.
Low 15.
Moment, just she's the one almost winning those types of duels, which has got to be worrying for Svitolina.
Well, both players striking the ball well. Kudermetova just a little bit more aggressive. So interesting watching the footwork, watching the leg speed from both players, how hard they're working within the points right now.
Yeah, I'm with you, Mel. It's an interesting year for Kudermetova. I mentioned it was a nearly year, you know, nearly beat Muguruza in the second round of Dubai, nearly beat Bencic, second round of Doha. Those are two very big tournaments. Had some decent wins, but when you look back to 2019, I remember actually watching her defeat Caroline Wozniacki from losing the first set 6-love from Chatrier. And I was so impressed with her game style and also the ability and how she dealt with the pressure situation. Out such a top-ranked player and of course a Grand Slam champion, she didn't seem to feel the pressure when it got to closing out the match, and I thought I was going to see a lot more of her become a top 30 player, but it hasn't quite happened. As we've been talking with the likes of Kostiuk and many other players, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. It's not always just a straight trajectory at the top of the sport.
30.
This is where I think this time out of the tour last year that was enforced on every player. There was no panic from people because there wasn't a choice. They weren't missing out. When you're injured, you feel the pressure. You feel like you're missing and everyone's gaining momentum and you're left behind. Whereas they actually had this freedom to really look at themselves, look at their playing ability, look at their physicality and how hard they could work.
And on that note, you actually just wonder whether it worked in reverse for Kudermetova. As in, talk about having a great 2019. She started 2020 pretty well. Semi-finalist at Hobart. You know, lost a tough one first round of the Aussie Open. And then, as I mentioned, those two tough losses in Dubai and Doha in big tournaments. She qualified for Dubai. She's done pretty well at those. And so then she's probably just feeling the momentum, getting used to being a WTA player, as in playing the bigger tournaments, and then has to have an enforced 6-month hiatus. And didn't really probably come back how she would have liked. Had to get back used to playing match tennis again.
I think definitely for those first few tournaments, and now I think we're starting to see the rewards. So those last two events, Ostrava Linz did very well, has started this year off very well. I think we're going to see her consistently performing at this top end of the game.
That's why.
Advantage.
It's patient play, just opening up the court and firing it into the open space.
Gets set behind the ball so nicely with the legs.
First break point. And it's saved well by Svitolina, and that was something she did so well yesterday, as in almost all of her aces came either to save match points or break points. And they were almost all down the tee, so you'd hope that Kudermetova will have done a research.
Yes, I was going to say that. That ace down the tee, match point down from Svitolina.
But it was amazing. I think she hit something like 6 aces And I think all 6 were break points or match points that she'd saved. She'd like some aces on other points.
Advantage.
Only
Svitolina.
1 out of the 6 wasn't down the tee.
It's definitely an area of her game that she's been working on. You can see there's more intention behind it.
Game. Svitolina.
It's a gutsy hole for Svitolina. She's under pressure here. It's all been about the terrific play of Kudermetova. Both players doing very little wrong in these opening exchanges. No signs of tiredness from Svitolina, mentally or physically. And it's 3-all first set. She did in her first round match. Jessica Pegula just built her way into the points and built her way into the encounters. A bit consistent in the first set. Slowly got more and more confident. Just wonder whether we're going to see that from Svitolina. Return.
15.
Maybe take advantage of it.
Svitolina guessed the right way, but what weight of shot. Once again, all coming from that footwork, getting set behind the ball, then being able to use the ground, the energy up through the body. Great rotation of the court.
Just missed.
Kudermetova.
Under a bit more pressure in that service game, Kudermetova, but
Kudermetova leads.
still able to come through it. And leads again on serve so far, 4-3.
Time.
Encouragement from Andrew Bettles. Very little to separate these two so far. It's almost been mirroring each other. Svitolina with new balls here, 3-4.
50 love.
In terms of patterns of play, Mel, it's it's tough to analyse, really, isn't it? Because they're both looking for baseline dominance. The serve's giving them a little bit more impetus, which is why they're able to hold serve, allowing whoever is serving to getting the first strike in. Both moving well, both striking the ball well. So whoever plays better wins, right?
Exactly that. It is like you say, it's very similar with the intention that they've come out here with. I think Kudermetova, it's her natural game to be more aggressive, to get on that front leg more often. So whether Svitolina can keep that intention the same and not resort to backing off. But I think she knows with her opponent today, having played a tough three-setter against her in the past, she knows she's got to step up to it and not give her the time on the ball. She missed that one. You can see there what I mean by being a snappy player. That arm just really goes so quick through the ball, gets up to that shoulder in no time at all.
Mentioned the mental coach already a few times with Svitolina, but I just think one of the big reasons to get them involved would have been that loss to Podorozko's. And I thought she, again, was very honest in a conversation she had with the WTA prior to this tournament about saying that she was focusing on the negatives too much throughout the match. And that's what I felt against Alexandrova. There just didn't seem to be that attitude from Svitolina. You know, she's so often used to beat herself up. She's similar to so many players, bit of a perfectionist on tour. And we didn't really see that against Alexandrova in the previous round. And just wonder when it comes to the slams and the really big moments, how much that might help her. Generally just positivity and calmness. It's been that way in this match so far. 4-all. Super backhand off the back foot.
For Svitolina, it was like making those fine margins at the top of the game under the highest pressure situations. It's the Grand Slams that she wants to do her best now. So to find something new when she's been at the top of the game for so long and really go into herself, said she's been as honest as she's ever been. She spoke about some demons that she'd never even spoken to friends about, and that's just really obviously got a weight lifted off her shoulders.
To face a break point, Kudermetova just ticking off the service games pretty comfortably.
She's been brilliant all week on serve, hasn't she?
It's the other thing, you don't get the feeling she's overawed by playing at world number 5. She's had such good results against not just Svitolina, but Pliskova and other top-ranked players. Seems to be one of these players that focuses even more against top-ranked opponents on the bigger stage.
Light, first serve.
Another great serve from Kudermetova. She leads by 5 games to 4. Both players not budging on serve so far. 9 straight service holds.
Time.
It's been a serve-dominated match. Both players with very high first serve percentages. Svitolina, first serve percentage 76%. She will hope she can keep it at that level. She's winning nearly 80% of the points behind the first serve. 70% first serve percentage for Kudermetova, and she's 17 of 18 points behind the first serve.
15 love.
Anything either player can do differently off the return, Mel, as in both having so much success off the first serve?
Well, they are, and they're backing it up well as well. You can see there's Svitolina getting on the front foot. It's whether you can then use the variety of a block return or just change the height, try something different out of a second serve, maybe return and come to the net, just give a different view, try and put a little bit of pressure on your opponent, because both girls are serving well and striking well from the back of the court. At the same time, you don't want to throw yourself off of a rhythm.
I think so. Yeah. Game. Svitolina.
Well, service hold, bit of momentum then for the Ukrainian. Only seen one break point in the first 10 games. It was on the Svitolina serve. And she hit that ace. Kudermetova yet to face a break point. So Svitolina will either hope that the first serve percentage drops a little bit here for the Russian, because she's only won 3 out of 8 points behind the second serve, or she can do a little more off the first serve return. It was a better return, wasn't it? The ball deep, punched it back. Just the second point she's won off the first serve of Kudermetova.
This is the moment in the match, 5-all. You want to get across that finish line without having to play a tie break.
Oh no.
No,
That's about the only mistake that she's made. She's been so good at the front of the court.
Well, there's no reaction to show here, but she'll be very disappointed. She'd finished this point.
If she does go on to lose this set, Kudermetova, it's going to sting, isn't it? Because really, until this game, she's been pretty flawless. But Svitolina has been her usual oh-so-solid self, and taking advantage of the drop from her opponent. 3 break points. Two break points.
That's where you need to forget the score, just go back to basics. Your 1-2 plays, your favourite patterns. Good first serve.
40.
It's long,
Svitolina.
and Svitolina finally breaks.
Svitolina leads.
Waited for her opportunity, was patient, and has played some really good stuff in this opening set, and will have the opportunity to close it out in a few moments' time. Leading 6-5.
Time.
Well, it's almost been classic Svitolina, hasn't it? She's been very good on serve, really positive. Hasn't been able to do a lot off the return. Kudermetova just dropping her level in a crucial moment, and now it's the Ukrainian to serve for the first set.
Let for serve.
Oh, exquisite. Svitolina, despite her anticipation skills and foot speed, still couldn't get there.
Well, the drop shot came from nowhere, didn't it? Great striking from both players in the back of the court, both getting a good rhythm from one another. Kudermetova just throwing in something different.
Let for serve. For serve. Oh. 15 all.
I can understand the frustration there because it's won the first point of the game. It's not often she's been able to get a foothold in a Svitolina service game. Second serve to swing at. Nice and positive, but misses with that positivity. It was a
half a chance or more than that.
Svitolina keeping the positivity, going point by point, sticking to that process.
All.
Oof.
40-30.
Well, she's played such a good set, hasn't she, Kudermetova? But just at this crucial stage of it, her level has dropped a fraction.
Yeah, not by much, but just enough.
So it is Svitolina with the chance to close out a very tight opening set. Oh, well, net's on Kudermetova's side. I have to say, really, Svitolina probably didn't deserve the point. Very shaky second serve, which was punished.
This is one of those net calls, though, that pops up. You just wish you'd have made the first step. Could have been on your way to it.
The issues for Svitolina in the match against Alexandrova. There's a big difference between the first and second serve points won. I just feel at the moment second serve is certainly attackable, isn't it? It was a better second serve, though.
I think she heard you. Knew she had to go after it a little bit more. Quicker with the hand up the back of the ball to the ball toss.
Second set point for the world number 5.
Game. First
Oh,
set is
very
Svitolina.
good set of tennis, in truth, from Elina Svitolina. She's battle-hardened, isn't she, from the match last night. And when push came to shove and the big points came around, they more than often went the way of the second seed. As Svitolina